I'm Jennifer and welcome to the Daily Connoisseur. My apologies, I have a little bit of a cold today, but I still wanted to shoot this video because I feel very passionate about this subject. We are going to be starting a self-discipline series here on the Daily Connoisseur, and it's going to be an ongoing discussion over time about how we can apply self-discipline to various aspects of our lives. And I think all of us are in need of self-discipline. I am no exception. I need self-discipline just as much as anybody else. So it's going to be helpful for all of us, I think, to talk about this subject. A while back on Facebook, I submitted a post about self-discipline and spending and why we talk ourselves into buying things that we don't necessarily need, the thought process behind that, and the self-discipline or lack thereof that we apply to our spending habits. I started thinking about this recently because of the issue of my blender. I have a blender that is really old. I think it's from when I was in college, which means it is very old. And I think it was like about $30 at the time. It was just the cheapest possible blender on the market. And I've had it for all these years. So it was the little engine that could. It works really well. Now, most of you know that I love my smoothie drinks. I make Kimberly Snyder's Beauty Detox Solution green smoothie probably 3 or 4 times a week. And if I don't make that, then I'm making other different green smoothies, almond milk smoothies, those types of things. So I do use my blender almost every day. And, I've been noticing lately that the blender, it takes a long time to blend. I usually have to give it a little, stir with my spoon. It doesn't blend things immediately, and it takes a while, but it does get the job done. I've also noticed that various high-end kitchen retailers like Williams-Sonoma and Sur La Table have really high-end blenders, like the Vitamix, for example. And these blenders are hundreds of dollars, and they blend things immediately, they have a smooth consistency, and, they're the creme de la creme of blenders. Here's the dialogue that's sort of going on in my head, trying to convince myself that I need one of these high-end blenders, okay? I'm thinking, well, I use the blender every day, and so it would be a justified purchase. I do like high-quality things in my life, so, this would be a high-quality blender. And on and on. So I'm justifying in my head why I would like to buy this very expensive blender. And then I just sort of had this moment where I thought, you know what, Jennifer, what's going on with your self-discipline? There's a fine line between having high quality things and talking yourself into buying them immediately for instant gratification. And whether or not whatever it is quality or not, it's that instant gratification that is the problem, that lacks self-discipline. So the question I asked myself was, does the blender that I currently have work? And the answer is yes. I do have to wait a little bit longer for the drink to be blended, but I believe patience is a virtue. And so what if I have to wait, 20 more seconds than I would with a high-tech blender? Self-discipline is not indulging in instant gratification. It's not getting something immediately because I want it, or because I'm too lazy or impatient to wait for my old blender to do its job. Self-discipline is deciding to wait and to use the blender that I currently have until its lifespan is over, and then sitting down and responsibly assessing whether or not I would like to upgrade. I probably will upgrade my blender when this little blender finally dies. But until then, I can wait, and I can have the self-discipline to wait. I think that's a very important aspect of purchasing high-quality things. We don't need to have them immediately. The thing is, you've got to feel the slow burn. You've got to wait for that high-quality purchase. You've got to save for that high-quality purchase. And it doesn't mean that you can just go out and just buy everything right now and incur a lot of debt because you deserve high-quality things. It all has to work hand in hand with self-discipline, organization, and thoughtfulness. Marketing is a very savvy thing. Stores know what they're doing when they highlight their retail merchandise. And it sort of lures you into thinking that you need something right away when most of the time you really don't. I use this example in Lessons from Madame Chic. How many times have you walked to the drugstore with the intention of only buying one thing, but you come back with a bag full of things, and as soon as you know it, you've spent so much money and you've gone way over your budget? All of this spending is about self-discipline. So these are only a few examples, but I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on self-discipline and spending? Do you struggle with this? Do you find yourself talking yourself into purchasing things that you don't necessarily need? What is your self-discipline like in this area? And if you have any ideas for future self-discipline discussions, leave them in the comments section below. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Connoisseur. I'll see you soon.